Mr. Thor, we need to talk. Hey folks, Dr. Bobby Striker here with 3F Flow Physique Factory. Clinic is in session, but before we get into it, please remember to like our video, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell button for notifications, and drop us a comment to make our videos easier to find by fellow fitness fans. Okay, Chris Hemsworth, Thor, famous from the Marvel movies for being in great shape and for being an all-round nice guy. Well, Chris made the headlines recently for very different reasons. Now, as part of a new Disney Plus show called Limitless, it's exploring the limits of the human body, Chris underwent tests to better understand his health, and he had 2 copies of a gene called APOE4 inherited from his parents. And apparently, this is associated with an 8 to 10 times higher risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. Now, understandably, it's a pretty big bombshell to drop. It's like telling someone they've got an 8 to 10 times higher chance of getting cancer or dying earlier. So Chris has decided to take some downtime to kind of better understand the situation. And of course, everyone wants to know if their favorite Marvel hero is going to be okay or not. Now, dementia is where you kind of start to lose the ability to think, make decisions, and even perform normal day-to-day activities. In serious cases, patients can even forget who they are, they can't recognize their loved ones, they can forget how to speak and even how to eat and drink. It's like you're left with the body, but the person you love is no longer at home. It can be really difficult. Now, while Alzheimer's disease is what everyone talks about, there are quite a few different types of dementia. There's also vascular dementia. This is another pretty common type where there's tiny blockages which lead to impaired blood flow in the brain, and with time, the same kind of dementia symptoms start to develop. But Alzheimer's is a little bit different in that the brain starts to develop abnormal clumps of proteins called plaques, and these block the nerve signals and destroy nerve cells. Chemical neurotransmitter levels often start to drop, and the brain can even shrink. So what is this gene that Chris has, and what's the truth? Should he be worried? Now, well, let's get into it, okay? Now, people hypothesize that an impairment in your brain's ability to process and metabolize fats may lead to the development of Alzheimer's disease, but it is not 100% clear. So no one really knows exactly how Alzheimer's disease develops, okay? The APOE protein, apolipoprotein E, okay, this helps to carry fats in the bloodstream, and there was recently a study, it was called APOE4 disrupts intracellular lipid homeostasis in human iPSC-derived glia. In this study, the researchers examined artificial brain cells made from stem cells and also yeast cells containing the human APOE4 gene, and noted it disrupted the ability of the cells to metabolize lipids, fats, and it resulted in the accumulation of lipids in the cells, but they didn't really know how. Yeah, they then supplemented the cells with choline. Okay, choline is a chemical, it's a precursor for the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. And guess what? It restored normal lipid metabolism in the cells. So it made me wonder, who actually funded this research? Because they're testing acetylcholine, choline, and all this. Now, the post itself states there is a conflict of interest because some of the investors are co-inventors on choline supplementation as a therapy for APOE4 related disorders. Now, this might mean nothing, but it is worth taking note of. And we have to all remember that association does not mean causation. Meaning that basically just because one thing is associated with another, it does not necessarily mean that one thing causes the other. For example, this is pretty funny. There is a statistical association between the number of people who drowned by falling into a pool and the number of films Nicolas Cage appeared in a given year. Okay, now, of course, one has absolutely no connection to the other. So just blindly looking at association is very, very short-sighted indeed. And it can be quite funny if you Google weird things that are associated. We know that not everyone with 2 APOE4 genes, like Chris has, will develop Alzheimer's disease. And heck, in the general population, 25% of the people carry at least one gene. And Alzheimer's occurs in many people who don't even have any of these genes. So it's not clear cut. And finally, there are many instances where certain things behave in a certain way in test tubes and in petri dishes in a lab, but behave completely differently in real humans, in real people. So without more research, it's impossible to draw meaningful conclusions from tests like these. And this is precisely why most doctors, like myself, we will not perform tests like these on our patients. The results are almost meaningless and very, pretty much uninterpretable, and cause a lot of anxiety and fear when they might not need to. So what do we know? Well, it's been proven that if you want to reduce your risk of developing dementia, then you should do some of the following. Stop smoking, eat a healthy, balanced diet, lead an active life both physically and mentally, lose weight if you need to, drink less alcohol, have regular health checks as you get older, and make friends and be happy, being sociable. All of this has an important positive anti-dementia effect. Now, Chris, we hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell button for notifications, as well as drop us a comment to let us know how much you love us. So I hope this is useful for everyone watching. The best we can all do is try to be healthy and live a full and meaningful life at the end of the day. So take it easy, stay safe, everybody. We'll see you all in the next video. Do not be late for your appointment. Bye.